Hey. Hey. Onegaishimasu. Hey. Down. Hey. Side to side. Ear to shoulder. Circles one way. Circles the other way. Hey. Arms forward. Your arms going back. Hey, stretching one side and the other side. Crossing one side, open and close. Hey, lower your hips, Taisabaki. Hey, good side. Ryoho, both sides. Benji. Yoko. Hey, two. Go. Two. Go. 3、9、5。 Go. Feet. It's up. Forward. And down. Hey, your knees from the back. Circles one way. Circles the other way. Fish. Out. Open your toes. Ki. Ko. Ni. Ki. Ko. San. Ki. Ko. Hey, your hips. Outside crescents. So. Inside crescents. Open your legs, lower your hips, elbows inside your hands. Rock side to side a little bit, gently opening each side. Pivot to one side, put your knee down. For a moment, just put your knee down and open your hip to that side. Good. Back up into the middle. Pivot to the other side, put your knee down. That opens up your groin and your hip hinge a little bit, your hip bone a little bit. So, grabbing your toes, raising your head, raise your hips. Coming up, spine, your spine, vertebra by vertebra, slowly until you roll your shoulders, your head goes up. Okay, and you can release with your hips. One direction, the other direction. Good, let's do it one more time. Down, elbows in, hands inside. Bring your pivoting to one side and pulling. Stand, pulling, 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 passing that knee from your toes. Up. Back in the middle again. Pivoting to the other side. And pulling. Pull, pull. And middle. And your toes, your head. Raising your hips. Coming up to your spine. Slowly, slowly. Shoulders and head. And circles. So, your legs and side to side. Gently opening that those hip joints and working on your hamstring. And lower a little bit on one side, lower on the other side, lower, feet, toes up, make sure both heels are touching the ground, okay, and lower the other side, make sure both heels are touching the ground. That is obvious, but this one here, these two will be touching. This time, hands in front. And the other side. This side. Right side. Open your legs. Elbows down. The hands in. Legs in, hands in. So, breathing in. And open one side. Open the other side. Hands down. Hands up. Open one side. Open the other side. Hands down. Hands up. Open one side. Open the other side. Hands down. Stand, going forward. So, back stretch. One time forward. Hips up. Hips down. Hips up. Hips down. Hips up. Hips down. And hips back. And forward again. Hips up. Dynamic sun salutations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring your feet together and knees to elbows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. Jumping in. Deep squats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And jumping back, knees down, back stretch. Relax. Three, one side, the other side. One side, the other side. One side, and the other side. Right side. Whoosh. One more time. And stretch. Going forward. Hips up. And salutations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put together, and position, knees to elbows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. At the beginning, you squat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hands down, kicking back, knees down, back stretch. One side, the other side. One side, the other side. One side, the other side. Right side. So, down. Okay. Your legs, hold on your hands. Shin boxes in one direction. Shin box on the other direction. Shin box on one side and on the other side. On one side and on the other side. So this time you should give it the shin box. You should give it shin box. Ukemi. Shin box. Ukemi. Shin box. Ukemi. Shin box. Open to the back and back. Shin ukemi. Shin box. Open to the side. Shin ukemi. Shin box. Back. Ukemi. Shin box. Back. Ukemi. Shin box. Extension. Ukemi. Shin box. Extension. Ukemi. Shin box. Extend. Ukemi. Shin box. Extend. Ukemi. Extend. Extend. Ukemi. Extend. Ukemi. And extend. So this time we're going to see how much space do you have for the next exercise. Okay, let's start with our basic sideways rolls. Okay, so remembering one more time, in the beginning, to start with your sideways roll journey, you're going to start, depending on how your knee condition is, you're going to start from your knee. Simply from your knees. 1, 2, 1, 2. That's just basic sideways roll from your knees, from sitting down. Okay, if you can, okay, progressively, you may want to go sideways and get yourself up. Find your way down, sit again, sideways, get yourself up. One more time, depending on the condition of your knees, help yourself to sit down, sideways, help yourself to get up. Down, sit down first, sideways, and up. So that is when we're transitioning from sitting down to coming to our knee, where we need plenty of help, on the way up and on the way down. Take all your time, make sure that your hip, your joint, your hip, your knee are comfortable with that movement. And once you do that, you may move to the next part, which is from your knee position, you're going to lower your hips, curve your body, find your ukemi, come up. Okay, so that's the one we're going to do now. Or do it from sitting, and with a progressive support to get up and to get down. Okay, or do this one. So three different options. Okay, so lower your hips, curve your body, your body. Lower your hips, curve your body. Lowering, curving, lowering, curving, lowering, curving, lowering, curving. So we're talking about this a little bit during the week. Sometimes we thump, when we go down into our rolls, we go, ooh, a few thumps like this. Most of the time, thumping is the result of one of three factors: height, shapes, and angles, right? So if you're too high, if I'm this high, then I go in that direction, even if I have a round shape. But if I'm going that direction at this height, maybe I'm going to thump. Shape means am I curving my body, or is my body, staying pretty much straight? And angle is the most complicated one. Is when, depending which angles of your body are more prone to go into your corners, as opposed to which angles of the body facilitate you finding the line. So the first thing to try to fix is height. Instead of being very high, try to lower yourself as much as you can. Then shape, try to make yourself curve. And then, this is a difficult one, try to find the angle on your body that actually minimizes the thumping. You're young and you want to thump all the way through the learning process, that's fine, we did it a lot, But if you are not that young, you don't want to thump a lot, take your time studying those things. How high am I? What's the shape of my body? What are the angles of my body? Because the combination of those factors is going to basically be permanent. So at the moment, what we're doing is lowering our hips, curving our back, finding the angle in my upper body and in my lower body that minimizes the thumping, and then coming down. Lower your hips, curving your body, finding the angle. Lower your hips, curve your body, find the angle. Lower your hips, curve your body, finding the angle. Okay, so those are three things that can influence how much you thump, and we have to study them consistently. Yeah? How high am I? What's the shape of my body? And what is the angle of my movement? Those things are important. Now, after you do that, you can continue, if you're just starting to study that, continues with the height, the shape of your body, and the angle. If you are familiar with it, let's go to the other extreme. Because remember, the purpose of Nage is going to be to somehow extend your body, not let it collapse, but extend your body, and then from that position, project, okay? This is the case for pretty much all techniques. The person will extend our body, try to break our balance, and then apply the technique. But in this case, instead of lowering and curving, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to extend to the top of our head, extend my spine, and then find my roll. Extend to the top of my head, extend my spine, and find my roll. Now this is something that we do a little bit later because we are consciously or intentionally not doing what I just did, what I just explained before. We're not lowering our body, curving our shape, and then finding our angles. In this one, we're in the opposite situation. We are extending our body, which means that we're as high as we can possibly be. We are not curved, we're straight, and possibly the only thing that remains is, the only thing is going to save us is the angle of the body, right? So this position, okay. So if you feel comfortable, remember, we have done 4 different forms of doing this. Number 1 is from sitting down position, where you go one side, the other side. Number 2 is when you are in sitting down position, you go one side, help yourself to get up, and you sit down again, okay? Do your roll, help you get up. Now you take time to sit down again, and then you do your roll. That's number 2. Number 3 is when you are on your knee, you lower your hips, curve your body, find your angle, and then take your roll. Lower your hips, curve your body, find your angle, take a roll. And number 4 is the one that we're doing now. You extend from the top of your head, extend your spine, and find your roll. The top of your head, extend your spine, find your roll. Top of your head, extend your spine, find your roll. Okay, so practice a little bit more in your own time, and just in any of these four sequences. Doesn't really matter which one. You know, you're getting familiar with ukemi. Of course, after this comes the actual getting up, and then practicing it up all the way from getting up with the different variations. At the moment, these are variations for low level ukemi. Okay, so we are okay. So like this. Remember, always breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And second. All right, so again, you know, progressive sections of ukemi. If you are more advanced than that, then practice your ukemi from standing up. You know, you can do it like we did last week, stepping forward, going back, then ukemi, stepping forward, feet side to side, bend your knees, ukemi, and so on. Just depending how much practice and how much space you have to do these things. All right, so one thing that we've been talking a lot about during the week has been the fact that uke and nage, both of our roles in our Aikido training, are basically trying to do the same things, right? In terms of energetical elements, especially in the area of breathing. We breathe in, breathe out in very similar times. We harmonize our breathing. In the area of connections and intentions, we are constantly seeking to meet and find each other and connect with each other and remain and maintain that connection to the movement. And the more basic format of footwork and body movements, okay? In the same way that, just a very quick review, okay? In the same way that our basic footwork, and sometimes we apply this to the Nage waza, you know, in a Nage, very obviously, yumiashi, shiro yumiashi, shiro yumiashi, okuriashi, shiro okuriashi, right? And then pivoting, and turning, yeah? So we have those basic set of movements, right? You can step forward, step backward, slide forward, slide backward, pivot on one side, turn the other side. So it's more sophisticated than that, but the basic set of movements that we have available 90-something% of the time are a combination of that. It changes in the sense of angles. You know, if I am turning, for example, only 90 degrees, as opposed to if I'm turning 180 degrees, right? If I am stepping back on an angle versus if I'm stepping back on a line, and so on. But they're still the same type of footwork. Okay, so that's fine. We understand that, and as Nages, we try to apply our techniques following that. So we know that Ikkyo, for example, is a slide forward, an application with my spine, and then step forward one, and then step forward two, and then we come down. We know that Ikkyo Ura is stepping in, lowering my body, and a slide sideways, and then down. So we try to become efficient in our use of footwork for Nage, but then we practice as ukes, and as ukes, we just kind of don't really know what to do with the feet. The feet adopt weird positions that are not really part of the Nage waza exercises at all, and so on. We become a mess. So remember, the footwork is there for Nage waza and for ukemi waza. It's basically, it's a combined footwork. So if it is efficient to do it for Nage waza, it is going to be efficient to do it for ukemi waza. So, for example, we're practicing a sequence this week that was something like my partner grab my hand me, my partner will turn around, like Ikkyo on me. Okay? So we started with that, and then from there we went to Ikkyo to Nikkyo, and and then from Ikkyo to Shikonage, and then from Ikkyo to Nikkyo, Shikonage, something else. So we don't have time to do the whole sequence, but let's just practice it. So let's just practice the Nage side first, okay? So we enter, we turn around, slide in, and apply it. Okay? We slide forward, turn, keep your hand in front, slide in, parallel to my partner, and apply Ikkyo inside of my center. The other side, turning, sliding in, apply Ikkyo, my hip, my spine, inside. Okay, one time. Turning, sliding in, applying Ikkyo, inside. So, okay, so far so good. Now, as Uke, you know, my idea was I was grabbing, my partner turns, and I turn my partner. Okay, so my partner turns, and I don't kind of wobble my way into my partner. My partner turns, I turn. Okay, now my partner, I'm going to go to this side so you can see. Okay, my partner turns, I turn. Or this side so you can see. Okay, my partner turns, I turn. My partner slides in parallel to me in order to apply Ikkyo. My partner starts applying Ikkyo, I receive with my hip and my hinge. Okay? Remember, we say you can receive in different ways. You can receive only with your back, you can receive with your knees, or you can receive with your hip. Okay? Ideally, try to receive with your hip. Okay? It's a more common exercise for us to remember to use our hips. Okay, remember, if I'm here, I'm going to receive Ikkyo, I can receive it with my back. That's kind of fine, as long as my back can take it. I can possibly receive it with my knees. Possibly wouldn't be my preferred idea because my knees would have a very a limit. Or I can receive it with my hip. And then my partner continues facing me down until my partner keeps me down in Ikkyo. Okay? So, I grab, my partner turns, I turn with my partner. My partner enters into my space, my partner applies Ikkyo, I receive it. The other side. Okay, my partner turns, I turn. My partner enters into my space, applies Ikkyo, I receive Ikkyo. My partner turns, I turn. My partner enters, I receive Ikkyo. Remember, why do we need to make our footwork efficient? Well, it could just be for the sake of efficiency. You know, it's better to do things efficiently rather than inefficiently. That's a valid point by itself. But in terms of the relationship between Uke and Nage is because one essential element of taking ukemi is to be as much as possible properly aligned with my Nage. I cannot connect fully with my Nage, and I cannot receive safely from my Nage if I am out of alignment with my Nage. My Nage has broken too much my alignment. Having said that, though, the intention of Nage is to make that process challenging for me, to break my alignment, to get me in weird angles, you know, to catch me off foot, to catch me behind just before I turn, and so on. So the Nage is constantly trying to challenge the Uke to be not in a good alignment, because the better the alignment, the better the connection, and the better the connection, the more possibilities are for counters or things like that. But Nage is constantly trying to challenge that, and Uke is constantly trying to regain it. So it's in that tension that the interaction needs to live. If Nage just completely destroys the alignment of Uke possibly is not very well connected, and it will possibly not receive in a very safe manner. Not ideal. If Nage is always just waiting for Uke and is always just allowing, or is not challenging the alignment of Uke, or is always too late and Uke is always aligned, then the whole martial interaction doesn't really make sense anymore, because you are always in front of another person that has all their capacities of grabbing, kicking, punching, etc., because it's fully aligned and fully connected to you. So the interaction is such that those two things have to be constantly tested, right? Because my way of aligning depends on the way of moving my feet. Okay, the better I move my feet, the better chances I have for my alignment. So we did Soto Tenkan, turning. We Ikkyo, okay? And then we henka waza, we transition from Ikkyo into Nikyo. Okay, so we did henka, apply Ikkyo, down, up, and then we transition from Ikkyo into Nikyo. Okay, so we just a very basic Nikyo, my hand, grabbing your hands, pivoting towards the other side of it. So they just practice that as ukes, as nages first. Okay, I'm going to turn, like Ikkyo, down, raise up, hands together, pivoting, keeping your hands in front of your face, and your face aligned to your center, and pivoting. Okay. All right, turning, and Ikkyo, here, up, hands together, and Nikyo to the other side. Okay, so turning, Ikkyo, up, hands together, and Nikyo to the other side. Okay, remember the secret, that's a little bit of an important element for Nikyo when you're nage, is to always keep your hands, your face, and your navel aligned. Okay, aligned. It's another element of alignment. Okay, aligned in the center. Sometimes our face shoots, our hip shoots, and our hands remain here or something like that. Or the other way, our hands shoot, but my face hasn't turned. So in the beginning, hands, face, navel, aligned. Okay, so turning, like Ikkyo. Then the person, the partner gets up, grabbing the hand, and pivot to the side for the Ikkyo. Okay, so turning, like Ikkyo. Then the person comes up, grabbing the hands, and change. Okay, so we try to do that. We try to do a henka waza from Ikkyo to Nikyo. Okay, as uke, okay, let's practice our part. We have, my partner turns, I turn. Okay, I try to move, balance. My partner turns, I turn. Okay, I may have to release my foot more than what my partner releases in order to align a bit faster. My partner turns, I turn. My partner enters into my space, applies Ikkyo on me. I try to receive with my hip, so I know that this back leg is ready to move and walk and be active, okay, as opposed to getting stuck and not really knowing what to do. I try to use my hip to receive. My partner lets me get up. Now my partner is going to apply here Nikyo, okay? My partner is going to apply Nikyo to me. So now, instead of me just not moving, getting the Nikyo apply and tap, 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 okay? Or instead of me finding finding my little steps to move out, my partner applies, I'm going to go back. 1, 2, okay? So using your footwork to go back, okay? Don't tap too early, tap early. Let me put a disclosure. It's always your responsibility to look after your body. It's always your responsibility. If you're in any particular condition, you must always tell the person where the limit is, and you tap, and the person must respect that indication of your limit. That's part of the basic nature of consent in martial arts. The person receiving the technique taps, the person applying the technique, respects that limitation. Having said that, having put that aside, that's something that we always say. Having said that, it is very important for education, for our own education, that if there is a space for me to move into, I learn to use that space before learning to tap. Okay. Once again, this comes with a caveat of being careful with your own body and being aware of the limitations of your body, and the other partner having to respect those limitations. That comes without saying. But for us, as training, let's say a person is going to apply Nikyo here, and I have all of this space that I could use to move, right? My person applies Nikyo here, and I tap. That's option 1, and that may be legitimate. That may be what I'm capable of doing. Option 2 is me progressively learn to use the space that I have available to move with that pin. That is an important part that we eventually have to learn. That's why when I say don't tap too early, it doesn't mean don't look after your body. It means, look after your body, but also remember that if there is a space available for you to move, learn to use the space. Okay, that's why. If we always tap too early, we never learn to use the space, and that is detrimental. Okay, with that caveat. Okay, I grab, my partner turns, I turn, my partner enters into my space, nice Ikkyo, I receive with my hip, comes down, my partner applies Ikkyo, and I go 1, 2, I move with my partner. In this case, my partner is traveling horizontally, which is kind of an easy Ikkyo. If my partner travels diagonally, it will be a more difficult one. 1, 2, and I may need to come all the way down here to receive the Ikkyo. That's a different moment. The moment the partner is traveling diagonally. Okay, the other side, take, grab, turning. Okay, my partner enters into my space, I receive Ikkyo. My partner applies Ikkyo, and I go 1, 2. Receive the Ikkyo with my feet. Okay, turning. My partner enters, applies Ikkyo, grabs, applies Ikkyo, and I receive with my body and with my feet. Okay, turning. My partner applies Ikkyo, applies Ikkyo, and I receive body and feet. Okay, and now, this time, just one more. I think our last time is just one more. My partner applies turns, my partner applies Ikkyo. Lets me get up. Applies Ikkyo. I receive my body and my feet. My body turns around and applies step forward, pivots, and cuts. Apply Shikonai. We did a lot of running with the idea of remembering to use our feet. Okay, so turning. My partner enters into my space, applies Ikkyo. Lets me get up, applies the Ikkyo horizontally. I receive with my foot and leg, cuts down, pivots back into space, steps forward, pivots, step, and cuts down for Shikonai. One more time. Turns, enters my space, applies Ikkyo. Lets me get up, grabs my hand, pivots back, applies Ikkyo. Cuts down, leads me forward again, steps with me, pivot, step, and cuts for Shikonai. So now we went from Ikkyo to Shikonai. Okay, so I'm going to be the Uke. My partner turns, I turn. My partner enters into my space, I receive with my hips, my naked side. My partner grabs me into Ikkyo, I walk with my feet and receive with my body. My partner extends me forward again. I walk with my partner for the extension. My partner comes back, step back, and receive. Shikonai. Okay? The long one, hopefully what we're learning, what we're practicing, is to use similar footwork to move between techniques. So not random little steps or random things. In this case, it's very slow, it's very structured, so we have to practice a lot of time and space to practice footwork as Uke. Okay? So my partner turns, I turn. My partner enters, applies Ikkyo. I receive with my feet. My partner applies Ikkyo. I receive with my feet and my body. My partner extends forward for Shikonai. I follow with one more step. My partner turns to receive the Shikonai. I turn and okay, one more time. Partner turns, I turn. Partner enters, I receive. Partner puts me down, applies Ikkyo. I step 1, 2, receive with my body. Partner extends forward, move forward. Partner comes back, and I apply. That's one. Partner turns, I turns. Receives into Ikkyo, down, applies into Ikkyo, back, extends for Shikonai, 2, receives, and I receive. And so on. So after that, we did a few other motions just with the permit. Not of studying so much Henkai Waza, although it's an interesting a study of how to move from one technique to another. That's fine. But the purpose of the training was more to help Uke to understand how basic footwork and not random footwork applies in the role as Uke. Not to systematize ukemi. It's very important. I'm not saying every time that a person applies this technique, you should move this way. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that in the same way that we study footwork, okay, as Nage, we have the obligation to study footwork as Uke in order to receive my techniques in a more efficient way, so my alignment can be maintained or recover as soon as possible. And with my effort of recovering the alignment and the effort of my partner of destroying my alignment, then we can practice the art of harmony. Okay, and then being able to destroy and recover, destroy and recover. Okay, let's finish it. Hey! Hey! Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you very much.